CES 2025, all the way back in January, feels like a lifetime ago. But while we were there, we saw the fruits of the new arrangement that MyArcade had made with SEGA to include some new devices that use SEGA properties, not the least of which, probably the crown jewel, Sonic the Hedgehog. In this video, I'm going to take a look at the premier product in that Sonic line, the new Sonic Mighty Player. That's next.
This video brought to you in part by Tommy and the Order of Cosmic Champions. This exciting and heartwarming coming-of-age Gen X novel is available now. Check the link for more info.
Hey there, welcome back to Gen X Grown Up. I'm John, I am a Gen X Grown Up. Thank you for taking the time to check out this video. It has been some time waiting for these new products to come out of CES. Of course, in October last month, we got the Game Station Go. We've been waiting for that for quite some time. But there's a lot more that was shown and announced. And of course, when you see them at a trade show, they're prototypes. What's it gonna be? How's it gonna evolve? Well, finally, now shipping is the line of Sonic products, the SEGA agreement that they had. And the Sonic Mighty Player is the big mama of this set. This thing is almost a foot tall, wood construction, backlit marquee, included battery, so much that you don't see in a lot of MyArcade products. Now, I'm gonna come right up front and tell you, I was an Atari dork. I was not a SEGA dork. I was not a Genesis player, so I don't know the Sonic the Hedgehog games entirely well. In this video, so I'm going to focus on my strengths and what I can share with you. My analysis of the hardware, how well the software runs, the controls, what the screen looks like, all of that. So we're going to take this new Mighty Player to task and find out how it stacks up, and is it worth your money? Let's go. Without scale or reference, it could be tough to initially understand what makes the Mighty Player mighty. How does it earn its name Mighty? Well, this is no micro player, so just at the outset, this is about 6.5 inches wide, nearly a foot tall in the packaging. I seem to recall they say that the unit stands about 11 inches tall when you get it out of the box. It looks at a glance, and maybe if you see it in the thumbnail, it looks like the micro players. It looks like the little players we had seen for some time, but this is a much bigger beast, and there are more features in this one to justify. It's not just the height. There's also a construction, there's also some illumination, there's also some internals, and yeah, it certainly is a new beast for MyArcade and something they've not done before, and have two of them coming out this year, both this Sonic and a Pac-Man. Around here on the back, a preview of the 4 included games, and then inside you have some beauty shots, and then vital statistics up here. We see 3.5-inch high-res display, 4 Sonic the Hedgehog games, wood construction, volume control, and a headphone jack, rechargeable battery, so that's something new for this type of device from MyArcade. Illuminated marquee, been asking for that for a long time. We have the Mighty Player AC adapter, charging cable, and a user guide. And as is, I guess, to be expected, there are some notable changes in this compared to what was initially announced in the prototype we saw at CES way back in January of this year, but we're going to find all of that when we get inside, so let's get this Sonic the Hedgehog Mighty Player open so we can check it out a little closer. Inside we have our Mighty Player, no scrimping on the accessories. Yes, we have a USB-C power block, so it gets the right voltage. We have a really nice thick C-to-C power and charging cable. We have this little certificate of authenticity, just a little extra bonus that comes in here. And not 1, not 2, but 3 pieces of documentation. We've got a catalog from a year ago that has nothing new to see. Garbage. We've got this tiny instruction pamphlet in a whole bunch of different languages that don't say anything about the games. Garbage. And we have this thicker pamphlet, safety guidelines and warranty, in a whole bunch of languages. Again, no instruction on how to use the game, just legalese. Finally, garbage. Let's take a tour of the hardware then, and I want to begin with some scale. Now, I mentioned this is not a micro player. This is a micro player. If you thought this just looked a little bit larger than the micro player, this is a Micro Player Pro, I think from 2023. The Miss Pac-Man, it's almost, not quite, almost double the size. I would say in volume, it's about 80% larger than the micro players. Now the micro players, of course, all plastic. This has a lot of plastic parts in it in the interior, but the sides, these columns, these are wooden side constructions, and you can see it has the Sonic artwork on this side with some Sonic the Hedgehog logo down here and a SEGA up top. Same thing around here on the other side. And I would just show you, look, they're following basically the same contours from the micro players. It's just very much exaggerated in scale. Looking at the front of the system, starting up top, this is the marquee, and this is finally illuminated. Now, how evenly is it illuminated? What does it look like? We're gonna find out when we turn it on. Just below that is the screen with this bezel all the way around it. Now, this is one of the many changes from CES that we initially saw. This at first had a widescreen 4.5-inch screen, if I'm remembering right, and now it has a 4:3, correct aspect ratio, 3.5-inch screen. Now, realistically, it's probably about the same viewable space because of your widescreen that would have been dead space on the left and the right. However, even accentuated with this very kind of almost comically large bezel around the bezel. So you have the Sonic themed bezel, then you have this black border bezel around it, then you have this little screen. It really just goes to accentuate how proportionately small this screen is for a device of this size. Look, maybe if the screen filled this entire area, and maybe, look, I could be wrong. Maybe the screen fills that entire area. If that were the case, I think you'd make a sticker that amplifies that. So I'm prepared to be wrong when we turn it on, but if this is the diagonal size of this screen, it's really suffering from screen to body ratio. It's not that 3.5 is too small a screen, but on a device that's almost a foot tall, it feels like a little bit of a small screen. We're gonna get to it when we turn it on. Again, I could be wrong. I could miss something here, but at first glance, it's plenty large to play the games. The quality of the screen is going to be more important ultimately than size, but in a device of this size, I would think, if this thing is 6 inches wide, it'd be nice if that screen was, 4 inches wide with just, maybe an inch on the side. And what we have is sidewalls, bezel, and then a screen. I don't want to harp on this, but it's the first thing that jumped out at me. They went in the right direction. They said, widescreen is wrong. Let's go 4:3, correct aspect. But then the aspect got right and the screen just kind of shrunk. So we'll see how that plays out and how the quality is and whether or not that's actually a problem as we get there. Coming on down here to the control deck then. Really nice control deck. Now, I'm not a Sonic or SEGA person, so I don't know how someone that played Genesis and played these games on their Genesis consoles are going to feel about this. I know that there was an aftermarket joystick arcade controller for SEGA. Do folks want to play SEGA games, Sonic games in particular, with a joystick and buttons? That's the paradigm that My Arcade makes arcade cabinets. These games aren't arcade games. How will that play? However it plays for you one way or the other, what I can tell you, the feel of these controls is really nice. It's a big ball top joystick here. It does not rotate, so it sits very rigidly in there. I thought it was cute that they used a star here, so these aren't cardinal directions. It's actually just a star around that to show Sonic. And then the buttons, much larger than I would expect for really any My Arcade console, but these really big ABC buttons here. Now, again, if you're used to holding a controller, maybe you want to hit that with your thumb. I don't think that's outside of the range of possibility to hold this device like this. So however you want to control that, I think the control deck is well thought out for what they're trying to deliver here. We have a home button and a start button that would be on the console. I like, and the artwork on this too, I think it presents very nicely. And down below that control deck, this is a little bit new from My Arcade. The headphone jack is right here on the front, so you can plug in the front, not around the back. And then you have the variable brightness button down here under that lip as well. On our way around to the back, I want to call out this wonderful implementation of BRF technology, big rubber feet. Really nice, generously sized, very rubbery and sticky to keep this big guy from sliding around on the table when you're playing. And there's some stuff going on around here on the back that I think are going to make a lot of people happy behind this little door. Before we get to that power on-off switch, look how big these buttons are, and a big volume up, volume down dedicated buttons. Here is a single rear-firing speaker. Now down here at the very bottom, you have a charging LED, and then you have a 5-volt USB-C in for charging, and this has a rechargeable battery. I have commented, regardless of whether a company puts batteries in something or requires you to put the batteries in, there's a subset of viewers who are always unhappy. If you include the batteries, they're like, yeah, now when that thing doesn't charge anymore, it's worthless because I can't change the battery out. Or if it requires you to add your own batteries, then they go, oh, boo, 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 you should include a rechargeable battery. Well, look what they've done. Using one of my patented My Arcade tiny screwdrivers, I released that screw. Take a look in here. The rechargeable battery is easily accessible and replaceable. So this is like the best of both worlds. You know, that's like I just thought they could never make anybody happy, but I think maybe in this case, they might have made people happy because what you have is not only an included rechargeable battery, but easy access to the included rechargeable battery so that you can replace it down the road if it stops charging well for you. So kudos to you, my arcade. Would you like a free opportunity to win an Atari VIP press kit? Yeah, we're preparing to launch GXG Insider, where we'll deliver breaking retro news, new releases, topics of Gen X interest, and exclusive info from our partners directly to your inbox. And it all starts by visiting GenXGrownUp.com. Between now and the end of the year, Insider subscribers will be entered in weekly drawings for prizes like plug and plays, nostalgic toys, and Steam game keys. And then, at the end of the year, we'll do a random drawing of all subscribers to give away an original Atari 2600 Plus VIP press kit. Remember that giant white box shaped like a VCS with all the controllers and games inside? Yeah, that could be yours. And all it takes to win is just pop over to our website at genxgrownup.com and sign up for a free subscription to GXG Insider. Don't wait, do it now. Join GXG Insider for regular news and multiple chances to win. Okay, let's get back to it. Now, this is truly where the rubber's going to meet the road, so let's peel off this fake screenshot, power this on, and see what we got. Oh, there's that illuminated marquee, it says SEGA. It's, you know, there's no hot spots on it, but it's also pretty much just center lit, if you can see the SEGA there. The screen is, in fact, just this dimension, so in the center of the screen. I mean, what do you think? The screen to body ratio. It's just my opinion. Yours could certainly vary. It feels like maybe if they had filled this entire space with a screen of that size. Now, there are probably logistic reasons why that couldn't be done, screen sourcing and things like that, but for a machine like this that's double the size of your other devices and for the screen to not be substantially larger, it just feels a little bit off to me, but let's not harp on that. Let's jump in and see what the menu and the games look like. Now you'll recall down below the control deck is a variable brightness display, so currently it boots at the kind of middle level. So here's brighter, there's the low level, and there's medium. I'm going to leave it on medium for now. And also, this reminds me a little bit of the pole position racing player, because when you adjust the volume back here, you get an on-screen display. So I'm going to crank it all the way up. We might get some overmodulation. We'll find out. I'll turn it down if that's the case. But so you can see we have My Arcade logo, A to play, and then we have a custom interface for the menu. Now this is quite nice. This has some polish. This is not just your generic interface here. So we have Sonic 3D Blast, Sonic the Hedgehog, the primary, I guess, Sonic the Hedgehog 2, Sonic Spinball, and Sonic 3D Blast. Now, as I warned you at one point during this video, I have not played many of these games, so I'm going to be the authority on how accurate the games are and how well they play. I apologize for not having that history, but we can certainly take a look at them, see how the screen behaves, see how it feels, responsiveness. So I'm going to jump into the standard Sonic the Hedgehog. That speaker sounds good. There was no overmodulation at all, and I think it's full. It's full. That really sounds good. In fact, I'm going to turn it down so I don't have to yell over it. All right, so I guess I want to start, right? Start. Green Hill Zone. Now I know some people know this like they know World 1-1 in Mario, right? I know you have to collect coins. I know you have to beat up on bad guys. Get that guy. Come on. Whoa! Here comes one of those big circle ramps that are fun to go through. Whoop-de-doo! Now, this screen quality looks quite good. I'm not seeing any screen tearing. It's really bright, good contrast. And I'll tell you, as I'm playing, I don't find myself lamenting the size of the screen. I find myself looking at the screen and watching it. Would bigger be better? Sure. I have to tell you, though, once I'm in it, it's not distracting me this size. So look, I'm sure I just ran through every awesome hidden secret in that game, in that level. Whoa! For any shortcomings in the dimensionality of the screen, the quality of the screen is quite nice. I'm not seeing any tearing. I'm not seeing any shimmer. I'm not seeing any bad pixel averaging or anything like that. And I know the goal of this game is to get through probably as fast as you can. I'm more of an exploration kind of player. Like, I want to dig in and find out, you know, what did I miss, and maybe you could do both of those things. I just don't know how to play very well, but... Jumpy fish. Oh. Whoop-de-doo. There we go. Whoa! Whoa! I fell. That's going to bring me back to the menu. Let's try the second one, Sonic the Hedgehog 2. That's going to be Sonic the Hedgehog, but the second one. You see how smart I am about these. So. And these are clearly the original Genesis ROMs, as they should be. All right, so there's options down here. Well, there you go. So you pick how you want to play, verse mode of all items, your sound test. All that stuff I would expect that you would have seen in the original arcade machine, right? Whoa. Yep, daisy. Yeah, both the hardware and the screen are having no trouble keeping up with the speed of these games. Whoa, that's cool! I can see this being a hit for Sonic fans. All right, back to the beginning. Let's look at the last two. Sonic Spinball. Tap start. Toxic Caves. Now, I don't know much about the other Sonic games. I really don't know much about this. Oh, it's a pinball game. Is it? Yeah. Okay, so A is left bumper. Oh, that's interesting. B is the right bumper, and then you have C hits both bumpers, looks like. So again, no instructions in here for these games, so I have the A and the B right down here. Makes it really easy to do left and right bumper, of course. Well, that's a different take on Sonic that I was not aware of. Ooh, something's eating me. Now, I'm going to spend probably less time playing these games than I was checking out this device and its performance. Again, just because any commentary I have on the games is going to be as someone who's seeing them for relatively fresh eyes, not someone who's going to be able to critique them. But technically, ooh, Traveler's Tales, really. So technically, though, performance-wise, the hardware is up to task, the controls work well, and that's the part that can definitely... Ooh, wow. You have choices, all right. Oh my goodness. I'm not doing that. Whoa! Oh, look at this, three-dimensional. Well, that's interesting. And being a 3D game, now you can see, the screen's behaving like it's supposed to. We'll kick her there. Oh, we smashed through a secret thing, maybe? Nice. Speaker sounds great. I have no complaints about the hardware. My only nitpicks might be, again, the screen-to-body ratio of the monitor, and maybe that's it. Maybe that's my only critique. And if that doesn't bother you, you know, this might be something to pick up. Of course, if this is looking good to you, you know there's always a link down in the video description where you could go and purchase this and find our store to dig into stuff like that. I gotta find out how to get out of here. I'm guessing I gotta get in this cannon. Get in there. There we go. Boom. And back over here. Cool. This is a very different Sonic experience. I'm not mad at it. This is kind of like a big open adventure game. It's, you know, less like a linear run-through and more like, yeah. So, yep, probably a good addition here for Sonic fans. I can imagine. This is the one of the four that intrigues me the most, honestly. All right, Sonic 3D Blast. Well, between you and Sonic Spinball and Sonic 2 and Sonic 1, A pretty solid set of Sonic games in a single device like this. It really, surprised me how much My Arcade upped the quality on these mighty players. They're not just bigger, they've made little improvements all across the board in the controls, the backlighting, the battery, the construction, it's all there. I'm gonna tell you, this is not the summary for the Sonic Mighty Player that I was expecting to have when I started to make this video. I expected to kind of go, yeah, it's Sonic, I don't care that much, you'll probably like it, the screen's a little small, whatever. I don't feel that way anymore, except for the one caveat I've railed on through the whole video, that I think the screen has a small screen to body ratio. For a device this size, it feels a bit small. But the reality is, once you're not paying attention to that, and maybe you can't get rid of that, maybe you can't get that out of your head, but once you get past that, if you're okay with it, the device plays like a dream. The screen looks great, no tearing, good contrast, good black levels, rich colors. Just a little smaller than I wanted. I'm gonna leave that alone. That's the last time I'm gonna talk about it. The ball top control works great. The buttons are good, whether you wanna use it like an arcade stick, you wanna grab it around the side like we looked at. If you are a Sonic fan, this is the device to get. Or if you have a Sonic fan in your family, this is the device to get for them. Now, there are other Sonic devices coming, but this is the cream of the crop. If it's something that you think is right for you based on everything I've said, and the things that I've complained about don't matter to you, or you can see past them, links in the video description, of course, where you can go and pick up your Sonic Mighty Player right now. There's more Sonic stuff coming and more Mighty Players coming. There's a Pac-Man coming this year as well. So, as I get to those, as I get to review the others, I'll be sure to throw links to those over my shoulders here and here. For now, there'll be just some other reviews that we've done of My Arcade products. I certainly hope you found this video useful, found something to enjoy in it. I can't wait to talk to you again next time. Bye-bye.